Welcome to grade 9s and welcome to grade 9 parents. I'm Ian Hobson and I work in the Business Studies department. I'm hoping today to give you some insight into business studies, and I'm hoping to help you with your subject choices for grade 10. I've only got 5 minutes, so I'm going to be going through this presentation relatively quickly. To start, business studies is offered in option 5 and option 2. Option 2 is only for immigrants and only in place of a first additional language. Option 5, this is where you'll have to choose between business studies, physical science, geography, and history. So why business studies? For me, business studies it's extremely exciting. It's a current, up-to-date subject, and it covers real-life business scenarios, and it's done on a daily basis. So this is something that you'll use whatever walk of life that you're in, whether you become a doctor or whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you work for a big company, all the way through life, and even in your own personal life. If you're investing, this course will help you. Just very important for grade 9s that have done, especially those that have done EMS, just to understand that there's a very big difference between accounting and business studies. Accounting is very much along the lines of bookwork, so that's your debits, your credits, the actual producing of income statements and balance sheets, etc. In business studies, the only overlap for you is that you would need to just understand an income statement and understand a balance sheet. You don't actually have to produce them. Obviously, this is important in life because if you've got your own money, you need to understand the flow of that money, and you need to be able to read what's happening in terms of your business, if it's doing well or not well. So if you're working for a company and you're wanting to move up the ranks and you want to become a director or a CEO and you've got your own business, then you do need an understanding of income statements and balance sheets, but it's all top line and you only need to learn some of the key ratios. What we really concentrate on in business studies is more the investing side of finance. So we look at various investing strategies. So we study growth or conservative strategies, whether you really are prepared to take risk or not take risk, and so what would be the best situation for you. We would study the various asset classes, so whether you're looking at property, bonds, equities, or investing in collectibles, or even in cash and cash deposits, etc. In general, this investment section, you'd be studying equities, retirement annuities, unit trusts, debentures, endowments, bonds, money markets, etc. So a real variety of investment strategies and investment opportunities. In addition, we'd be studying insurance and assurance. This would be in terms of short-term, long-term insurance. So we're looking at, for assurance, looking at life cover, disability cover, and then in your other insurance, the simple insurance in car insurance, maybe risk insurance, your housing insurance, etc. So what you need to insure in your normal daily lives as well. What I most enjoy about the subject is it is a living subject. It's we cover day-to-day issues in both the macro and market environment, and therefore we're following the news all the time. So that would be News 24, social media, newspapers, any news that is related to business, and that's on an ongoing basis. In the macro environment, we'd be studying what's happening in economics, politics, social issues, technology, legislation, environment, and any of these and the impact on businesses as a whole. So, for example, right now we'd obviously be following what's happening with COVID-19 and what the bearing of that has on businesses. So, what has that done to importing? What has it done to tourism? How are businesses actually trying to survive in this environment? And then other topics that are current would obviously be what's Trump doing in America. What is the USA's impact on trade and trade tariffs, and what's happening in the trade war between the USA and China? And then general economic factors we would be studying: exchange rates, inflation rates, interest rates, what the Minister of Finance is doing, what decisions they're making in terms of the repo rate, and how do these things impact businesses. Should they be borrowing money? Shouldn't they be borrowing money? Should they be cutting down on debt? So it's any issue that is worth reporting on in business. And then in the market environment, Very obviously exciting and interesting is what businesses are doing in terms of marketing themselves, what are they doing with their branding, what is their branding strategy, their advertising, who they're aiming advertising at, which LSMs are they targeting, pricing, what is their pricing strategy, what are they pricing themselves up against another competitor, what is the interaction happening in this market environment. For instance, right now, the matrics are currently studying what's happening in forecourts, that's their theme, and how the forecourts are competing against each other, how their different branding strategies, their pricing strategies, etc. The 2021 theme is going to be retailers, so they'll be looking at this pricing strategies between ShopRite and Woolworths and Pick and Pay, and then maybe the lower LSM retailers, so that are Cambridge Foods, what Cambridge Foods is doing, what is the Boxer doing, and how they're competing against each other, and what their various strategies are. Other topics that we would cover would generally be all the business functions. So in that, you'd be looking at human resources and all their activities, how they recruit, their remuneration policies, all that sort of thing. And then obviously, importantly, we go through entrepreneurship and leadership, very important in this current world today, with a very uncertain future for a lot of people, and a lot of people having to go into their own businesses. So that's key. And then for those joining large businesses themselves, it's obviously important that you have an understanding of industrial relations and the legislation around that. So those are if you're working for a big company like mining companies, or you're working for the banks, etc. When it comes to collective bargaining, what's important, subjects like strikes, lockouts, disciplinary procedures, and then in addition, you need to obviously all the various laws, have an understanding of laws. So what's happening in the Labour Relations Act, the Conditions of Employment Act, Employment Equity Act, the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, various acts that are important to big business. And then general, when you look at things like teamwork, conflict management, so running of a business, how you would work your teamwork, how you would solve conflict in a business, so how the CCMA works, how third-party intervention works, how workplace forums work, and then also in general, how to be professional, what ethics there are in businesses, and then very appropriate to large companies is, are they being corporate socially responsible? Are they governing themselves well? So are they being ethical in the way that they run their businesses? So also why business studies would be important to anybody wanting, especially if you're wanting to go into tertiary education, that it requires higher order thinking and written skills. So you have to, you learn how to become a creative problem solver. You've got to come up with strategies for current issues that are happening. So what would your strategies right now be if you were a business and you've got to try and survive in this COVID environment? What would you be coming up with? So what creative ideas have you got? And then it's also designed to fit directly into a BCom business science entrepreneurship marketing courses at a tertiary level, so after school. And importantly, for me, it gives a clear understanding of the real world. So it's practical, it's up to date, it's interesting. And so I think it would benefit anybody as a general subject. The theory that you cover is relevant to all topics today. So just thank you for listening. I hope that you guys make the right choices for you with your subjects. And I hope whichever subjects you choose are the subjects that are going to benefit you. And then if you do join us in business studies, we hope that you have a wonderful 3 years of business with us. Thanks for listening.